This class is brought to you by the LA Care and Blue Shield Promise Community Resource Centers. The centers are a place to help you be active, healthy, and informed. We hope you enjoy this virtual class.
Hello, my name is Leslie, and today we will provide an overview of diabetes, including some tips to help prevent or manage diabetes. Today's topics will include meal planning basics, physical activity, managing stress, monitoring your blood sugar levels, and some common medicines that are used for the management of diabetes. Thank you for joining us. Today's presentation will review what is diabetes, the risks for diabetes, how diabetes is diagnosed, guidelines for managing diabetes, which include meal planning, physical activity, managing stress, monitoring blood sugar levels, as well as medicines, as well as a review of symptoms of high and low blood sugar levels. Diabetes in the United States. Diabetes is increasing at an alarming rate in the United States. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 34.2 million people are living with diabetes. That is about a little over 1 out of every 10 persons. 7.4 million people, or about 1 out of every 5, have diabetes and they don't know it and are not receiving any treatment. Nearly 1.5 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes every year, and type 2 diabetes is responsible for 94% of all of those diagnosed cases. 88 million Americans have prediabetes, meaning that their blood sugar level is high, but not yet quite high enough to be considered diabetes. The most recent data tells us that if this trend continues, 1 in 3 adults will have diabetes by the year 2050. Diabetes can affect many parts of the body, and it's related to serious complications such as heart disease, where over time, high blood sugar from diabetes can damage blood vessels as well as the nerves that control your heart. Persons with diabetes are also more likely to have other conditions that raise the risk of heart disease, such as high blood pressure and cholesterol. It can also lead to increased risk of stroke, blindness. Diabetic retinopathy is actually the leading cause of blindness in American adults. Over time, high blood pressure levels and high blood sugar levels can damage the eyes. People with diabetes are also more likely to develop cataracts and glaucoma. In addition to blindness, diabetes can affect the kidney, where kidney failure is a consequence of chronic kidney disease. This happens when the blood sugar damages the kidneys. Kidney failure requires dialysis or a kidney transplant. It also leads to a higher risk of lower limb amputations and other conditions such as gastroparesis, which is a condition that affects digestion. In 2016, diabetes accounted for 60 million emergency department visits. In 2017, diabetes was the 7th leading cause of death in the United States. But although people are living with diabetes and have a higher risk of serious health complications, a healthy lifestyle and self-management is really key to preventing or delaying complications. So what exactly is diabetes? Diabetes is a chronic, ongoing health condition that affects how your body uses blood glucose, or sugar in the body. Glucose is the body's main source of energy, and the body works to convert everything we eat or drink into sugar that the body can use for energy. There are 2 different types of diabetes that are most common. There's type 1, where the pancreas does not produce insulin or makes very little. Type 1 diabetes is common in children and young adults, but it can occur at any age. This type of diabetes has a very rapid onset. We don't know for sure why this happens, but it's thought to be an autoimmune process where the body attacks itself and destroys the beta cells, which are the only cells in the body that produce insulin. With type 1, the only treatment available is insulin for life. And although it's the least common of the 2 types, it's continuing to affect more and more people each year. With type 2 diabetes, the body does not use insulin properly. Body cells become resistant to the effects of insulin. As a result, too much glucose or sugar starts accumulating in the blood and it can't go to the other places in the body that need the sugar for energy. With type 2 diabetes, treatments include diet and lifestyle changes, oral medication or pills, oral medications, and a combination of insulin, or insulin only. Lifestyle changes are very important in helping to prevent, manage, and in some cases reverse type 2 diabetes. With prediabetes, blood glucose levels will be elevated, but they are not considered high enough to be diabetes. With prediabetes, this is the body's call for action. This is a warning sign that it will soon become diabetes if steps are not taken to improve health. So we mentioned insulin a few times. What exactly is insulin and what does it do? Insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas that controls glucose or blood sugar. Everything we eat and drink is converted to glucose for the body to use. You can think of insulin as a key, and each cell in our body has a lock. Insulin is a key that is needed to unlock the body's cells and tissues in order to open that door and let the glucose inside the cell. Our cells depend on glucose for energy. While we don't yet know exactly what causes diabetes, we do know that there are certain factors or things that increase the risk of developing diabetes. Let's review what these risk factors are. Your chances of developing type 2 diabetes depend on a combination of risk factors such as your genes that you inherited from your family, as well as lifestyle. Risk factors include being over the age of 40. In fact, the older you are, the higher the risk of developing the condition. Being overweight. Many studies have shown that as little as a 5% loss in weight can significantly reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. For somebody weighing 150 pounds, that means losing about 7.5 pounds. Or somebody weighing 170 pounds means losing about 8.5 pounds. Other risk factors include not getting enough physical activity, race and ethnicity. People of Hispanic, Latino, African American, Asian, and Native American descent are more likely to have the condition, as well as those that have a history of high blood pressure, or women who've had a history of diabetes during pregnancy, called gestational diabetes, as well as hormone disorders, such as polycystic ovarian syndrome. Although you cannot change risk factors such as family history, age, or ethnicity, you can change risk factors around eating, physical activity, and weight. If you're interested in knowing your risk for type 2 diabetes, take the test and visit the link below. There are several tests to diagnose diabetes. Let's take a look. Diabetes can be diagnosed by 2 separate fasting glucose tests of 126 or higher. This test is done on an empty stomach. Diabetes can also be diagnosed with a random glucose test with results of 200 or higher. An A1C test measures the average blood sugar levels for the past 2 to 3 months. An A1C of 6.5% or higher indicates diabetes. In general, for someone with diabetes, it is recommended to have an A1C of 7% or less. Let's take a look at how persons with diabetes can use the 5 M's of diabetes management. The 5 M's of managing diabetes include meal planning, body movement, managing stress, monitoring blood sugar levels, and taking medicines and/or insulin if prescribed. If you have been told by a doctor or other healthcare provider that you have prediabetes, then following meal planning, body movement, and stress management tips can be helpful to help prevent diabetes or delay the development of diabetes. Some persons with prediabetes might be asked to begin to monitor their blood sugar levels or to take medicines. Each person is very different, so if you have specific questions, talk to your healthcare provider. Meal planning for diabetes or prediabetes. Let's begin with some general nutrition guidelines. It is recommended to eat a variety of different foods from each and every single food group, like the fruits, vegetables, grains, proteins, and dairy. Try to make a colorful plate whenever possible so that you can vary your food so that you can get the different nutrients that your body needs. Each food group provides different nutrients such as vitamins and minerals. You can also choose plant-based proteins and dairy alternatives if you prefer. Try to increase your fiber by getting 20 to 35 grams of fiber each day. Good sources of fiber include whole fruits and vegetables, as well as whole grain options. Always make sure to look at the food label to know how much fiber you are eating. Fiber keeps you feeling fuller for a longer time and also helps stabilize your blood sugar levels. Limit saturated and trans fat. You can limit saturated fat by reducing the amount of red meat in your diet or by substituting for leaner options such as ground turkey, fish, or skinless chicken. It's actually recommended to eat fish at least 2 times a week to provide you with a healthy dose of heart-healthy fats like the omega fats to protect your heart. Make sure you're trying to limit high-fat dairy products such as butter, heavy cream, whole milk, regular yogurt. Avoid processed meats like hot dogs, sausage, and bacon. And avoid trans fat, which can be found in processed snacks like baked goods, shortening, and stick margarine. Also eat less sugar and less added sugar. Read labels to choose foods with little or no added sugar, and drink water or unsweetened iced tea instead of sugar-sweetened beverages. The ADA, or American Diabetes Association, recommends no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar for women in a day, as well as no more than 9 teaspoons of added sugar for men in a day. And make sure that you're being mindful in watching your portions. Try not to eat so much in one sitting. Eating the right portions is important to help maintain good blood sugar control and to help you maintain a healthy body weight. Using the plate method can help you plan your meals at home or when dining out to help make sure that you're eating the right amount of portions and eating balanced. The plate method starts with a 9-inch dinner plate. Want to know if your plate is about 9 inches? You can certainly measure it, or you can also take a sheet of regular paper like a letter that you get in the mail and put it over the plate. If the plate is much bigger than the paper, your plate is way too big. Try using a smaller plate for your meals. We eat with our eyes too, so the fuller the plate, the more likely we will eat all the food that we served. Focus on filling half of your plate with non-starchy vegetables, such as a salad, green beans, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and carrots, to name a few. Then, focus on filling 1/4 of the plate with lean protein, such as chicken, tuna, turkey, beans, tofu, or eggs. You can also choose other protein alternatives that are more plant-based, like the beans or lentils. Then, fill the last quarter with a whole grain item such as brown rice or a slice of whole grain bread, or even a starchy vegetable such as green peas. Make sure you include good fats such as nuts or avocados in very small amounts, and try adding a serving of fruit or low-fat dairy, and drink water or unsweetened tea or coffee. Foods such as fruits, dairy products like milk and yogurt, and grains, which include breads, cereals, rice, and pasta, have carbohydrates, or carbs for short. In order for the body to be able to use our food for energy, it turns these carbs into sugar. Too many servings of food with carbs can make it hard to manage your blood sugar, so it is important to watch for portions. If you are not sure what each measurement would be, I recommend starting with some measuring cups to help you get a better idea of what half a cup or 1/3 of a cup actually looks like, and compare to how much food or servings you are actually putting on your plate. Oftentimes, we can get into the trap of thinking that one food item such as 1 banana equals 1 portion. That is not always the case, so it is important to get familiar with the portion sizes. You don't have to memorize each portion for each food, but it is important to start with the foods that you commonly eat. Let's take a look at some of these common portions. For fruits, 1 serving is equal to half of a banana, 1 small apple, orange, or pear, 1 cup of berries. 1 cup is actually equal to about the size of your fist from the wrist on up. Then you have portions for things like fruit juice, which are half a cup, or even dried fruit, which is 1/4 of a cup, much smaller. Portion sizes for milk and yogurt include 1 cup for milk and 2/3 of a cup for plain yogurt. Things like bread, cereals, rice, and pasta, and even starchy vegetables also have serving recommendations, which are equal to 1 slice of bread, 1/4 of a bagel, so that means you have to take half of the bagel, then cut 1/2 into another half for a total of 1/4, 1 6-inch tortilla, 1/3 cup of rice or pasta, and this is cooked, or half a cup of mashed potatoes, or half a cup of cooked quinoa. Meats or proteins can be divided into 2 different categories, little to no carbs, as well as carbs. For meats with little to no carbs, 1 serving is equal to 2 to 3 ounces of cooked lean beef, veal, pork, lamb, chicken, turkey, or fish. 3 ounces is also equal to about the size of the palm of your hand, not including your thumb or forefingers. 1 serving of meat is also equal to half a cup of canned tuna, 1/4 cup of tofu, 1 egg, 2 to 3 ounces of low-fat natural cheese, half a cup of cottage cheese, 1 ounce of nuts or seeds, as well as 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, which is the size of about your 2 thumbs. Meats with carbs include half a cup of cooked dry beans, lentils, or peas. 1 serving of vegetables is equal to 1 cup of raw leafy vegetables, or half a cup of other vegetables that are cooked, raw, or canned, as well as half a cup of vegetable juice. 1 serving of fats and oils is equal to 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, or about the size of your thumb, 1 tablespoon of butter or margarine, 1 tablespoon of low-fat mayonnaise, and 1 tablespoon of light salad dressing. Fats and oils are not part of the food groups, but can be included in the diet in very small amounts. This list does not contain each and every single food item, but it could be a good start for you to begin to practice your portions or to begin practicing the plate method. Body movement or physical activity. It's never too late to start being physically active. Physical activity has both immediate and long-term benefits. Physical activity helps lower blood glucose levels, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight, diabetes risk. It also lowers heart disease risk as well as stress. Physical activity also helps improve heart strength, bone strength, blood flow, muscle tone, joint flexibility, energy levels, as well as sleep quality. For someone with diabetes or prediabetes, getting physical activity helps your body be more sensitive to insulin and helps manage blood sugar levels, as well as lowers your risk of heart disease and nerve damage. How do I begin physical activity? First, talk to your healthcare provider before starting any exercise program or before you make any changes to your current exercise program, especially if you have diabetes. Making changes to a physical activity routine can cause changes to your blood sugar levels. Choose an activity or activities that you'll enjoy. Aim to be active for at least 30 minutes on most days of the week, and you can also break up the exercise into smaller sessions. Try to do 2 15-minute sessions or 3 10-minute sessions. Physical activity. There are 3 types. Flexibility or stretching exercises are an important part of physical fitness. Flexibility activities improve the ability of a joint to move. Aerobic or endurance exercises move the large muscles of the body in a rhythmic and ongoing manner for a matter of time. They make the person's heart beat more faster, causing the breathing rate to be a little faster to help bring in the oxygen that the body needs. Muscle or strengthening exercises are activities that provide increased bone strength as well as muscular fitness. Let's take a look at examples for each type. Flexibility exercises include things like stretching, yoga, tai chi, Pilates, forward bends, or using the foam roller. Try to use flexibility exercises before you begin more intense exercises like a jog to help you warm up. Aerobic activities. These types of activities require you to use the large muscles in a continuous and repetitive way. These activities can improve your health by strengthening your muscles, including your heart, help promote weight loss, reduce blood glucose levels, and improve your stamina and energy levels. Aerobic activities include walking briskly, dancing, bicycling, hiking, use of the elliptical machine, skating, climbing the stairs, swimming, or other water exercises. The Physical Activity Guidelines recommends 2.5 hours or 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity each week. This activity is best when it is spread out during the week, so doing the recommended 2.5 hours of aerobic exercise in 4 to 5 days will benefit you far more than completing it within 2 days. Muscle strengthening exercises or resistance activities are activities that require pushing, pulling, and lifting, and work to strengthen specific muscles or groups of muscles. They also improve balance and reduce the risk of falls, reduce the risk of osteoporosis and bone fracture, as well as increase energy levels and the body's sensitivity to insulin. Examples include weightlifting, use of exercise bands, dance, cycling, calisthenics, which are exercises that use the body's weight, and yoga. The Physical Activity Guidelines recommends that adults should do muscle strengthening activities that involve all major muscle groups on 2 or more days a week. A good exercise program requires muscle strengthening exercises, but also includes aerobic activities as well as flexibility. If you are going to begin an exercise program, try to include some body movement of each type of activity. If you already have a physical activity program, check to see if you're doing all 3 types of activities and include any activities that you may be missing or may need more of. Manage stress. Stress and diabetes. Stress can affect your blood sugar level in 2 different ways. First, stress hormones can directly increase your blood sugar levels. Second, people who are overstressed may not take very good care of themselves. They may exercise less or not eat balanced meals. Because of the effects of stress, it is very important to take active steps in the management of stress. Here are some tips that can help you better manage stress. Try to keep a positive attitude. Find something positive to appreciate in each important area of your life, whether that's family, friends, work, or health. Remember to be kind to yourself. Don't take on more than you can handle. It's okay to say no, especially to things that you really don't want to do or need to do. Accept what you can't change. If you can make things better, go for it. If not, is there a different way for you to handle it? Make sure to take time to unwind. Practice relaxation techniques like deep breathing, muscle relaxation, meditation, or visualization. For more examples, make sure to visit the Power Over Stress presentation. And talk with someone. Confide in a trusted family member or friend. There are also professionals who can listen and help you find solutions. Monitor blood sugar. Monitoring your blood glucose or blood sugar is a primary tool you have to find out if your blood glucose levels are within your target range. Talk to your doctor about whether you should be checking your blood glucose levels at home, how often you should be checking it, and what are your goal ranges. In other words, where should your blood sugar levels be? People who may benefit from checking blood sugar levels more regularly include those taking insulin, those who are pregnant and have gestational diabetes, those having a hard time controlling blood sugar levels, or those who are having frequent low blood glucose level readings. Low blood glucose levels are when the readings are 70 or less. If this is happening often, it is important to discuss this with your healthcare team who can help. Throughout the day, blood glucose levels will change and vary. The American Diabetes Association suggests the following target ranges for most non-pregnant adults with diabetes. Before a meal, readings should be between 80 and 130. 1 to 2 hours after the beginning of a meal, readings should be less than 180. and an A1C of 7% or less. Your healthcare team may have a personalized blood glucose and A1C test goal for you. Hyperglycemia or high blood sugar levels generally don't cause any symptoms until blood sugar levels go above 180 or higher. But every person experiences high blood sugar levels differently. Symptoms of hyperglycemia can develop slowly over several days or weeks. Recognizing early signs and symptoms of hyperglycemia can help you treat the condition promptly. Watch for frequent urination, increased thirst, blurred vision, fatigue, headaches. Later signs and symptoms include nausea and vomiting, dry mouth, weakness, confusion, abdominal pain, and even coma. Common causes of hyperglycemia include undiagnosed diabetes, or for persons who already have diabetes, not using enough insulin or oral diabetes medication, not following your diabetes eating plan, being inactive, having an illness or infection, using certain medications such as steroids, or experiencing emotional stress. If you have diabetes, work with your doctor to find a plan that is best for you and a plan that would help you lower your blood glucose levels. Hypoglycemia or low blood sugar levels happen when your blood sugar levels have fallen low enough that you need to take action to bring them back up to your target range. This is usually when the blood sugar level is less than 70. Causes of hypoglycemia include too much insulin, not enough carbohydrates, or too much exercise. Common signs and symptoms include feeling shaky, fast heartbeat, sweating and clamminess, irritability or impatience, headaches, hunger, dizziness and confusion, as well as weakness and fatigue. For some people, symptoms of high or low blood sugar levels can be very similar. One way to tell for sure is to test your blood sugar levels. Treating hypoglycemia. If you have symptoms of low blood sugar, it's important to check your blood sugar levels. If it is low, meaning that it's 70 milligrams or less, you want to use the 15 to 15 rule, where you eat 15 grams of carbohydrates, such as 3 to 4 glucose tablets, 4 to 6 ounces of fruit juice or regular soda, or 2 tablespoons of raisins, for example. After 15 minutes, check your blood sugar again. If you are still low or less than 70 milligrams, take in more carbohydrates or eat a meal. Medicines or the use of insulin. There are many different types of medicines, both oral or injectables, that work in different ways to lower blood sugar levels. Metformin is a medication that is commonly prescribed to help decrease the glucose release from the liver. Medications like glipizide and glyburide work to increase insulin release from the pancreas. A group of medicines known as TZDs work to decrease insulin resistance in muscle and fat tissue. Januvia and Tradjenta work to increase insulin release and also work to reduce the glucose release from the liver after meals. Invokana and Jardiance increase the release of glucose in the urine. Prandin and Starlix work to increase the insulin release from the pancreas. And a medication group known as a GLP-1 receptor agonist, commonly referred to as Trulicity, Byetta, Victoza, work to increase insulin secretion, reduce glucose release from the liver after meals, and delay the food emptying from the stomach to promote satiety. Precose and Acrobose slow down the digestion of carbohydrates in the intestines. Some people with diabetes need the extra support of insulin to help manage their blood sugar levels. Insulins are generally categorized by how quick they act, also known as the onset, how long they take to get a maximum impact, known as the peak, how long they last before they wear off, known as the duration, as well as the concentration of the insulin. Bolus or fast-acting insulin works to lower blood sugar levels after a meal. There are rapid-acting, which include Novolog and Humalog. Rapid-acting insulin covers the insulin needs for meals that are eaten at the same time as the injection. Short-acting include Humulin and Novolin. On the other hand, short-acting insulin covers insulin needs for meals that are eaten within 30 minutes to 1 hour. Basal or long-acting insulins work to cover insulin needs for about 1 full day and work to control blood sugar levels between meals and at nighttime. Long-acting insulins include Lantus, Levemir, and Tresiba. There are also insulins that combine both the basal and the bolus type. Combination insulins are generally taken 2 or 3 times a day before mealtime. In summary, to help you manage diabetes or conditions like prediabetes, it's important that you keep all of your doctor appointments. Discuss your blood sugar goals at every doctor visit. Take your medicines or your insulin as prescribed. Enjoy healthy eating. Be active at least 30 minutes on most days of the week, but try to aim for 5. Monitor and log your blood sugar levels at home. Know the signs of low blood sugar and how to treat it. Achieve and maintain a healthy body weight. You can speak with your doctor about what is a healthy body weight for you. Inspect your feet daily and keep them clean and dry. Reduce the amount of stress in your life. And try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Have a plan for sick days. And stay current with all of your recommended exams and tests. Thank you so much for joining me. We look forward to seeing you virtually again next week and at one of our resource centers as soon as we can. Until then, stay active, healthy, and informed.